You are listening to 40 Weeks with Vanessa Merton, host of the Pregnancy Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the 40 Weeks podcast. Welcome to week 14. Your little peach is now about the size of a lemon this week. Of course, lemons can come in a lot of sizes, so another great comparison is to make a fist with your hand, and that is about the size of your little one in week 14. They measure almost 3.5 inches or nearly 9 centimeters from crown to rump, and they weigh about 1.5 ounces or 43 grams. Your baby's movements are getting more coordinated, especially in comparison to the jerky movements they were making early on. Their neck is getting longer, hair may be starting to grow, and eyebrows are coming in. Their entire body is covered in a thin, down-like hair called lanugo, which will help keep them warm until later on when they build up more fat. Other developments this week are that your baby can now have some facial expressions like squinting or grimacing. This is thanks to brain impulses that allow their facial muscles to move. Their kidneys are producing urine, which they release into the amniotic fluid around them. The top of your uterus is a bit above your pubic bone, which is probably enough to push your tummy out a little bit. Starting to show is nice because you actually get to see that yes, you are in fact growing a tiny human. If you have somehow managed to avoid maternity clothes up until this point, it is probably time to put some clothes in the back of your closet and add some comfortable maternity clothes. It is so not worth it to be uncomfortable in clothes that do not fit right. Keep in mind, maternity clothes do not have to cost a fortune. Ask friends who have had babies if they have any maternity clothes. Also, check out some of the big box stores and online. Realistically, you only need to wear this stuff for a short period, so don't stress about not wanting to make a major financial commitment to a brand new closet. An amniocentesis, also called amnio for short, tests the amniotic fluid from around your baby to see if they have a genetic condition like Down syndrome. This test is usually done at 15 to 20 weeks of pregnancy, so if you are considering it, you could have it as early as next week. This is an invasive test, and it does come with some risks to both mom and baby. Be sure that you understand what the risks are and what the results can tell you before opting into this test. This and all other invasive prenatal tests are covered in detail on episode 16 of the Pregnancy Podcast, and you can listen to that at pregnancypodcast.com/episode 16. Tip for dad, take your partner shopping for a new top or a pair of jeans. Or if shopping is totally not your thing, suggest that they go with a friend to buy something that is comfy and will fit their growing bump. They definitely don't need to go out and buy a whole brand new wardrobe, but it can be really frustrating when suddenly none of your clothes fit. Don't give your partner a hard time about some new clothing purchases, and make sure that you tell them you like the new outfits. Thank you so much for tuning in. Show notes for this episode can be found at pregnancypodcast.com/week 14. Next week, your baby will be able to sense light, and until then, I wish you the very best on your pregnancy journey. There are so many awesome resources available to you at pregnancypodcast.com, and you can sign up with your email address and your due date to get a weekly email with a link to the episode for your specific week every week in your inbox. I look forward to seeing you in the Pregnancy Podcast Facebook group, which is a great place not only to connect with some other parents-to-be, but also to be able to ask questions and get answers specific to things that you are dealing with and planning for your pregnancy and birth.